Michel, what are you doing?
I'm tidying up. So many things lying around. I'm trying to get some order into this mess.
And what is the red thing there on your right?
A laughing bag. Quite a surreal thing. It was invented in Berlin at the end of the 1960s. When you press on it,
At the end of the 60s? You were also interested in laughter.
you mean the order of things and the Chinese encyclopedia and so on.
Exactly. This book first arose out of a passage in Borges, out of the laughter that shattered, as I read the passage, all the familiar landmarks of my thought.
Yeah, and then comes this absurd Chinese classification of animals. A, belonging to the emperor. B, embalmed. C, tame. D, sucking pigs, and so on and so forth. That amazed me a lot at the time.
So your laughter was a philosophical laughter? Amazement and wondering have always been important motives driving to philosophy, from Aristotle to Wittgenstein.
Let's say I succumbed to the exotic charm of another system of thought. The stark impossibility of thinking that is, of even imagining such an order of animals, made me laugh.
Why actually? That could just as well have been made you cry, having to feel the limitation of your own thought.
True, there was also a certain uneasiness that was difficult to get over. Borges describes an authentic heterotopia. By the way, this is the first time I use this term. He sketches a space where what is common to place and name is lost. A rather insane system of homeless words and categories. It's truly surreal, like the famous chance encounter between a sewing machine and an umbrella on an operating table. Except that with Borges, it is precisely the table that is missing.
So, laughter has to do with being surprised with an unexpected encounter, the clash of heterogeneous?
That's definitely part of it. For me, in any case, laughter is not simply Schadenfreude, for example, when someone slips on a banana peel, as Bergson described it. The surprise for me was to be pushed to the limits of my own thinking by Borges' Etrotopia. It's somewhat like that laughing bag. That is, if you imagine that you yourself are stuck in the bag and that the bag stands for the limits of your thought.
But there is no human in the bag, it's a machine.
That's true. But without the machine, especially without the machine of language, humans would not exist, neither here nor in China. As complex as the content of your thinking may be, the basic structure is somewhat simple. To underscore this point, laughter also appears at the end of the book.
The Laughter of Nietzsche.
Yes, Nietzsche's philosophy announces the explosion of man's face in laughter and the return of masks.
A little later comes the famous passage where you write that man will be erased like a face drawn in sand at the edge of the sea. but the return of the mask that refers to you puppets at your heterotopia. Your other scene is also very astonishing, very surprising, and often also quite funny.
To this, I can only reply as follows.